Hello, Steve White, Checkpoint 89 for Steve Arts 89, Star Trek's Gatekeeper. Now this video is not about Star Trek, but I bought a lot of Star Trek items from this store. I just saw some bad news the other night that on Facebook, apparently yesterday was the last day that the Comics R Us store in Melbourne CBD was open. They do have another store in Prahran on 114 Chapel Street, Windsor, which is just next to Prahran. I go to both, so I kind of forget there actually where one suburb ends and the other one begins. 114 Chapel Street, Windsor, 3181. They're still open, but the main store in the city is closed. Now, some people may not be familiar with the store and the building itself. Now, when I first came to Melbourne, there was a store on Russell Street, Comics R Us store on Russell Street. And then there was Minotaur, and Minotaur was a three-story building. You come in, the ground floor was just general collectibles. Down in the basement was videos and then DVDs, and upstairs was comics. And they eventually moved to a bigger location on Elizabeth Street, downstairs in a basement, a very big, long area, and Comics R Us moved upstairs, and basically you'd go upstairs. There was another store where Minotaur's main area used to be, and then another store downstairs. But you'd go up the stairs and you'd walk in. It'd be just like being back in Minotaur when they had the comics section up there. And it was nice because I had been going there my whole life. Now I usually went to Minotaur over Comics R Us, usually, but I went there too because, you know, I'm on Burke Street, and they had a lot more collectibles. They had a big He-Man display and Transformers display, and I often went there because they were cheaper than Minotaur. But yeah, it's just really sad. Now I know the store in Windsor is run by a nice guy. We all know him in the community, and it's still there, so it's not like we can't access Comics R Us anymore, but it's the fact that it's gone. There's no Comics R Us in the city, and it's that store, that space is gone. Like it's like 3 decades that they were selling comic books up there. Now I know in America a lot of comic book stores have closed in recent years because comics are not doing as well, mainstream as they were, and there was this big boom in the 90s where people realized comics could be collectible, and then they had a big fall, but they stayed alive and they kept going. And yeah, I'm just really surprised because I kind of thought things like this were sort of doing sort of well in the recent times, sort of because, you know, a lot of people need escapism, and you know, so I'm surprised. As far as I know, Minotaur's doing well. Minotaur has moved. I haven't been to the new store because they moved after you know, everything happened 2 years ago, and I basically, aside from essentials, haven't left my house pretty much for the last 2 years. I started self-isolating on March 17, and aside from essentials and groceries and the doctors, I haven't really gone out for anything, and it's going to be 2 years soon. So at some point they moved, because I ordered some stuff online from them, and then there was some problems ordering stuff because they were in the process of moving. They didn't know where things were and all that, so I was aware they'd moved. I have no idea where they've gone or what it's like. But it also makes me sad as well because there was this little store called Lobo's right near where I lived that I would go past on the tram home. They moved across and up a couple of blocks, but they opened this giant store, and they've got a lot more space because they had a lot of stuff in storage that you never got to see, and they'd have to take displays down and put new ones up just so people could see what they actually had available, and they couldn't have it all out at once. So it's a practical move for them. But I missed that little store too because it had such a feeling about it, and the feeling of the Minotaur, the remainder of the Minotaur store, the upstairs Comics R Us. I mean, the Windsor store is nice, but it doesn't have that same feel. It's not that place I've been going to my whole life. Because as far as I know, they were open, Minotaur was there at least in 1990, I think. I don't know how far back they go and when they opened, but I know they were there in the early 90s because I've seen some pictures from that. And yeah, I came here when I was in uni, and they were there. Yeah, so it's just really sad that the store is closed, because I would have thought Prahran would have closed before the city store. But yeah, so I don't know. So it's just sad. I just wanted to share that because I don't know. It's like that's what I do on my YouTube. I talk about things that that I'm interested in or affect me, and losing, this comic book store, which was in the same building that one of the oldest comic book stores in Melbourne that's been around for like what, 90s, noughties. Yeah, it's like 30 years. Yeah, so wow. I'm gonna go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Bye.